Hi there, Dr. Rose here from the Perfume Lady. I hope you're well. I hope you're ready for the holidays. And if you're watching this video after Thanksgiving, I hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful. This is not my normal typical video where I review fragrances. Today I want to talk to you about something that happened to my sister and me from Neiman Marcus about 2 weeks ago. So the question that I want to ask of people who are watching this video is pathologically bigotry a mental disease or illness, right? Can they classify it, someone who's a bigot as having a mental illness or a mental disease? And is extreme racism believed to be a psychosis? If you can answer those questions for me, I think I can do enough research, but I like to get your point of view on these topics. The reason why I want to do this video today is because I want to talk about what happened to my sister when she tried to return 2 fragrances for me at Neiman Marcus. And these were 2 fragrances, expensive fragrances that I purchased. I'm going to show you one of them that I purchased at Neiman Marcus with my Neiman Marcus credit card, and I had receipts for both of those fragrances, and they were within the 30-day return limit. So I had every right to return these fragrances and based on their return policies. When we try to return the fragrances, what we encounter at Neiman Marcus is unheard of. So if you're interested in hearing the story, please stay tuned. I will be back. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. So, alright, let me tell you the story, and I'm going to show you the fragrance. So I went to Neiman Marcus on a Sunday, and I was flying out. I was in Florida. I was flying out, going to work. And so I was trying to make time to kill time before my flight. And I purchased 2 fragrances. One of them was quite expensive. The 2 fragrances came out to almost $1,300. So that's how expensive they were. One of them was Acqua di Parma, which is Note Di Colonia IV. Okay, this is the box for it. When I purchased the fragrance, it did not come in a cellophane wrap. The reason why I'm illustrating this part on the video is because I went ahead and we purchased the fragrance because of what happened, just to see if the fragrance actually came in a cellophane wrap. So when the salesperson gave me the fragrance, it wasn't in a cellophane wrap, and I said to her, are you giving me one that you've already opened to show in the store? She said, no, they do not come in a cellophane wrap. This is exactly how the box, how they came. And I don't think she had any reason to lie to me or to make up that story, because she seemed like a genuinely nice enough lady. So I took the fragrance and I said to her, well, you know what, I cannot get it to fit in my carry-on because of the size of my carry-on. Can you ship it to me? And she said absolutely. So I gave her my hotel address, and she shipped the fragrance to me. When the fragrance arrived, it arrived just like this in this box, and which is the way that she told me the fragrance was. And so I opened the cap, I smelled the cap, I said, oh my God, I don't think this fragrance is worth almost $700. And I said, the next time I'm in Florida, I'm going to return it. So a week later, I went back to Florida, and I asked my sister to return the 2 fragrances for me. One of the other one I had taken with me, and I hadn't opened it. It was still in its cellophane wrap, but the Acqua di Parma Note Di Colonia IV wasn't in the cellophane wrap. So my sister took the fragrances back for me, and I get one of the receipts, because it was shipped to me, was emailed. And then the other receipt, I was a paper receipt, email receipt to my sister, and I gave her the paper receipt for the other fragrance. So she showed up at Neiman Marcus in Boca Raton, Florida. And I can tell you that, you know, Boca Raton is a place where, you know, they have, you know, people from different cultural background. So people that look like me, that look like you, look my sister, you know, African American, blacks, Indian, Caucasian, Asian, Hispanic, you name it, you know, they have people in the area. So I did my research after this happened. And I used to work in the area, so, you know, I know a lot of people that look like me in the area. Anyway, long story short, my sister went to the counter, and I'm not going to name the name of the person she interacted with. I'm just going to refer to her as Karen right now. She interacted with two people. So Karen number 1 was the store cosmetic manager, and Karen number 2 was the salesperson. So Karen number 2 asked my sister, the first thing she said, "I'm not accepting this fragrance. Did your sister buy them, or they given to her as gift? How was she able to afford those fragrances?" And my sister said, "I have her receipt here. She purchased them in her Neiman Marcus credit card. So no, they weren't given to her as gift." And she proceeded to say, I'm not accepting this return. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this receipt is real or if it's fake." And so my sister got on the phone and she called me. And Karen number 2 called Karen number 1, which Karen number 1 is the cosmetic manager. She came in and was very belligerent with my sister. She wouldn't listen to my sister. So my sister got me on the phone and said they refuse to accept the fragrances because they think that they are fake. I said, "What do you mean they are fake? It's been a week since I purchased these fragrances. I have receipts and they are in boxes. They are completely new, unsprayed. So why would she think the fragrances are fake? Why would I have gotten the fake receipt to send to them?" And I said to her, once they pull my information in the system, they will see the purchase history that I purchased the 2 fragrances at Neiman Marcus. And mind you, I did not purchase them at the Neiman Marcus in Boca Raton, but I purchased them in the one in Miami Beach, Florida, but which is within 30 miles away from each other. And you can return to any Neiman Marcus, you know, that you want to. You don't have to return something at the store where you actually purchase it from. So I told my sister, "Why don't you put Karen number 2, the salesperson, on the phone, and let me talk to her." So my sister said, "Well, my sister wants to talk to you." She said to my sister, "I'm not touching your phone. I'm not putting your phone next to my ear." And I told my sister, "Why don't you just put the phone on speaker?" So I said to Karen number 2, "How about you call the store to see how this fragrance was sold? Did they come in a cellophane wrap?" And she said, "No, I will not call the store." And I yelled, I said, "Call the freaking store. If you don't want to call the store, my sister has the receipts and these are legitimate purchases, so I need you to return the fragrances and put the credit back on my card." And she said, "No, I refuse to return them because I don't believe that they are real." And so at that same time I said, "Oh my gosh, my sister has been a subject of what's called shopping while black." And I am on the other line and I'm hearing the entire conversation. So shopping while black is a phrase used for the type of marketplace discrimination, you know, that is also called consumer racial profiling. That's exactly what happened to my sister and myself. So they racial profile us. They looked at my sister. My sister is younger than I am. And I think she was going to the store for maybe a class that she went to or something, some kind of training, and she probably had her uniform on. And for those of you who don't know my sister is a nurse practitioner with a PhD, well-educated woman, very well-spoken, very soft-spoken, nothing like me. We look alike, but we don't have the same personality. Had I been in the store, they probably would have ended up calling 911 because I wouldn't have put up with that kind of racial profiling from anyone. So the experience of being, denied service or giving post services because of the way that you look usually often happens to people that look like me, like my sister, and like most of you guys who are foreigners, right? But I never, you know, in my mind, in my life, think that, you know, this would have ever happened to me or a family member of mine, because we look like normal people. And you know, even if we did not look like normal people, anyone can afford a $600 bottle of perfume, right? It would have to be whether the person wants to pay for it or not. In my case, I wanted to buy the fragrances, and the lady, you know, the salesperson from the first store where I purchased the fragrance, she was extremely nice. She gave me tons of testers and stuff. Not that I really needed them, but she was so nice. But I felt bad for wanting to return the fragrance. But you know what? I decided to return it, and I was within my rights to return the fragrance. So I said this. I don't understand why this lady, you know, decided to profile us, you know. So I, you know, thought about it, and I said, you know, what do I need to do about this? So my sister hung up the phone because I was getting really upset. She hung up the phone. And later on, she's telling me about exactly, you know, how these ladies, you know, treated her, okay? She said they took the fragrance, the two fragrances, they flipped them upside down and said, oh, is this real? I don't think this is real. I don't think she can afford it. You know, we have to go to the website to make sure that Neiman Marcus actually sells this fragrance because we don't have it in the store. And it's fine. Sometimes you buy something from one store and then you return it to another store. The other store, based on the consumers in the area, they don't carry the same items. It happens all the time. Even at TJ Maxx, it happens, right? Depending on the area you live in, they sometimes, you know, Miami could carry something, and then Boca Raton doesn't carry the same thing. So, you know, none of my concern. The thing is that I have a receipt, so they should have returned the fragrance. And the way the ladies behave towards my sister by asking her, were they given to me as gift? You know, where did I find them? How was I able to afford them? She refused to return them even though we had the receipts. To me, that was, you know, a straight racial profiling. So I'm a firm believer in, if something happens to you, you need to talk about it. You need to call the place and then report it. So I decided to report it. So this is the fragrance that I purchased. The exact price, actually, when I just look at my notes, this is the fragrance. The exact price, total price was $603.48. And mind you, after I returned the fragrance, because when I wanted to do this video, so I went ahead and purchased the fragrance again from a different location, and I did not pay nearly what I paid for it at Neiman Marcus. It was under $200. And the fragrance came to me just like this, in this box, in this cardboard box, okay? So there was no cellophane wrap on the fragrance. And you know, a week later, I called Neiman Marcus and I asked them, I called 3 different Neiman Marcuses that carry this fragrance, and I asked them, does this fragrance come in a cellophane wrap? And they told me no, they do not come in a cellophane wrap. So to take things further, what I did, I went ahead and posted something on the Neiman Marcus website about the experience, and I told them that they should profile my sister, they should profile me, and then I also said, you know, what if my 20-year-old nephew, who's a tall black man, and you know, those teenage boys, they don't, you know, wear suit and tie when they go out. They were like, you know, sweats, they wear t-shirts, and my nephew has twists in his hair. What if it was my nephew, who's a very soft-spoken person, who doesn't have a lot of experience with this type of things? What if he was the one who returned the fragrance for me? What would they have done? Would they have called 911 and have him arrested, even though he had receipts? And I believe so, they probably would have done it, because if they treated my sister that way, they probably would have done that much more to my nephew. So I sent the email. I also sent an email to Neiman Marcus, and I received a call. The first call I received, was the lady said, "I'm sorry for what happened," and then she hung up. And then someone responded to my email, and what the person said to my email was that, "Oh, we looked at, we were able to return the fragrances, and you will receive the credit on your credit card." And I replied to her, I said, "But you guys returned the fragrances an hour and a half later after I was screaming and yelling saying that you had no rights to treat my sister that way. You returned the fragrances. If I had not, stepped up and for my rights and told you that I had every right to return the fragrances, because first of all, I had valid receipts for both of them. They were unopened and unused. So you couldn't deny me the right of returning the fragrances. And the question wasn't about whether I was going to get a credit on my credit card, because I knew once you return the fragrances, I would have ended up with the credit on the credit card. But what I wanted to illustrate it in my email to them was the fact that, they racial profile us because of the way that we look. Okay, stating that we were not able to afford the fragrances, that the receipts were fake, that the fragrances were also fake. And Karen number 1 and Karen number 2 showed no mercy to my sister, and they never apologized. And I told the lady who responded to my first email, I said to her, "You missed the entire point that I was trying to make. What I wanted you to say was that you're going to speak with your director or your district manager or even the CEO of Neiman Marcus and say, you know what? This consumer has brought up a valid point to us, and perhaps we should maybe provide some training on cultural sensitivity." That's just what I wanted to do. I sent several emails and posted, on Instagram and everywhere, on Facebook. And I did not want them to come back and offer me anything. I just wanted them to apologize and told me that Karen number 1 and Karen number 2 were going to receive some training, or maybe do a wide company training for these two ladies who apparently really did not know how to treat people that look like me with my skin color. And she, in her mind, a fragrance that cost $600 and the other fragrance was $376, because we look the way that we look, we couldn't afford it. So long story short, 4 days later, I went ahead and posted something again on Yelp. This time I received a phone call from the store manager at Neiman Marcus. The lady was extremely nice, and when I was trying to tell her the story, I was in tears, because I remembered what I've been through when I was in Texas working, when I was in Georgia, and when I was in Nebraska, when a police officer stopped me because I was driving a car that was, I think, a little pricey, and then he asked me how was I able to afford such car if I was a call girl. And when I told him that no, you don't have the rights to ask me these questions, and then he threatened to break every bone in my body, and then he said, if you don't answer my questions, and then if you even look at me and don't call me sir, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to break every bone in your body. I'm going to break all your teeth. I'm going to cut you to pieces, and I'm going to throw you in the back of my car and feed the rest of you to my dog. And this is a true story of what happened to me in Nebraska. And there was a man who actually was live in Nebraska at the time, a black guy, really nice man, and may God rest his soul. He has passed on since then. And he had a police scanner, so he overheard the entire conversation of how I was being treated. And so his daughter actually was kind of like a friend of mine, and so his daughter heard the entire story and the next day and told me that she heard it. So I went to the internal affair and I filed a report, and nothing ever came out of from my complaint. Nothing was done with that officer who threatened severely bodily harm on me. But so I I was trying to explain to the sales, to the manager of, over the phone what I went through, and I wasn't expecting, and that happened several years ago. And in 2022, in October 2022, I was expecting that things like that would have been different. Things would have been different. Things like that wouldn't be happening anymore, because hey, you know what? We had a black man in the White House as a president. So and I thought maybe the country had changed, but who am I kidding? Why would I think that this country is different? It has changed from the back then, when they used to treat people that look like me like slaves, like they used to beat us up. It's still happening, because every day you hear that a black man or a black woman has died from violence, from cops. It's still happening. People are refusing you employment because of the color of your skin. It just recently happened to someone that I know, and then it also happened to me, right? You feel like you can, regardless of how many degrees you have, how educated you are, sometimes someone will always feel like you don't belong. And that's what happened to my sister and me. So and the lady, the store manager, was extremely apologetic, and I was ready to leave it as that, until she said, "Can I give your sister something?" I said, anything other than a phone call to apologize from Karen number 1 and Karen number 2, she would not need it. She said, "I'm going to leave 2 meal tickets for your sister. She can come to pick it up." I said, "Excuse me, I'm not making this complaint because we need something for free from you. My sister would never want to step foot in your store ever again. If your store was the only store left in America to shop, my sister would go naked. She would never buy anything from you again, because that's the kind of person she is. She holds grudges. Where I do hold grudges, but sometimes I forget. But this woman, she doesn't forget, because she's been through so much in her life. And she still insisted that she's going to leave her 2 meal ticket. I said to her, "My sister doesn't need your meal ticket." And I said, "You know what? Thank you." She said, "How about if I send you a fragrance, something you've never had?" I said, "Look, again, I did not make this complaint because I was trying to get something for free from you. That is not the case here. Whatever you sell in your store, if I cannot afford it, I will go without it. I probably would not need it that much. If I was able to afford a $600 bottle of perfume," and believe me, and I said to her, "I have almost 300 bottles of perfume, and some of them are pretty pricey. So I can afford the perfume that I want to buy. And I'm not trying to brag about it, but that is not the intention here. The intent was for you to provide some training, some educational training regarding cultural sensitivity to Karens, and maybe to your company in general." So 2 weeks later, I came home in Iowa, of course, and there was a box waiting for me in front of my door from Neiman Marcus. This is the box, and I'm going to show you the content which was in the box. And there was a card from the director of sales experience at Neiman Marcus, the Neiman Marcus in Boca Raton, Florida. She said, "Dear Miss Chaperone, I would like to take this opportunity to extend our most sincere apologies for the level of service that you received from our representatives. It must have been very disappointing to feel you were not being treated with the courtesy and professionalism you deserve. Neiman Marcus Group is a place where everyone belongs. It is our priority that every associate, customer, and partner feels safe and welcome to our facilities. If I can assist you further, please do not hesitate to contact me. We take this matter very seriously. It is through customer feedback like yours that we can continue to evolve our customer experience. Sincerely," and I'm not gonna repeat her name. She was extremely nice to me on the phone, but the fact that she actually offered us something to shut us up was very disappointing. And she still insisted that she sent meals ticket to my sister, which also were very disappointing because I explained to her that I did not want anything from them. All I wanted was an apology. This letter here would have sufficed, and maybe, you know, telling me what steps they were taking to ensure that what happened to my sister and myself wouldn't happen again in their stores, like by providing some training to their associates, would have been enough. Instead of her giving me those steps, right, tell me, hey, this is what we're going to do, she decided to send me fragrances. It came in it came in this box, and, you know, it's a Neiman Marcus, you know, I guess a Neiman Marcus gift box. It was, you know, wrapped very, very nicely with this ribbon here. And so she sent me, I'm gonna show you what, you know, what the content in the box are. So she sent me these 3 bottles of items here. One of them is the Boca Raton 540 real perfume for the core scented body oil, which I already have, right? She also sent the Boca Raton 540 eau de parfum, which, you know, I already have. I have the extreme version. She also sent the hair scented perfume, which I did not have. That was a very nice gesture on her part. Except what she did not send them in boxes. They were wrapped in these papers. So she did not send them in the original boxes that they usually sell them on. And I don't know why she did that, so I'm not going to speculate, but I have an idea why she did that. I think she did it because maybe she did not want me to try to return them or sell them. I don't know why, you know, why that happened. Or maybe these were just like testers from the store and she just decided to send me some testers. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to be gifting those 3 items because I will not use them, because that wasn't my intent. Wasn't trying to get something for free. My intent was trying to get them to provide some education to their staff. So in the gift box, she also said, she sent another card. Miss Chaperone, I have also left a certificate, lunch for 2 at our Mariposa restaurant for your sister Ivna at our store service lounge. Thank you. So lady, I told you that my sister did not want any kind of free lunch from you, but you still went ahead and instead of, you know, saying, okay, she said she did not want anything, I'm not going to leave anything. So you still decided to leave these 2 free lunch tickets. So how offensive is that? When your consumer who's upset told you that she did not want something for free, but you still decided to send it to them. So it's a way of shutting me up. So long story short, I will not shop at Neiman Marcus anymore. I have canceled my Neiman Marcus credit card, and I'm going to be gifting those 3 fragrances, those 3 items to someone over the holiday, or maybe 3 different people over the holiday, because the intent of me sending that email and then to Neiman Marcus wasn't for them to give me something for free to shut me up. It was, you know, for them to say, hey, I'm going to provide some training to our, you know, associates, to ensure that they treat everyone with respect and dignity, and treat people like, you know, human beings. So this is the fragrance that actually I ended up purchasing from another store. You know, what can I say about the fragrance? I don't think this fragrance was worth $600, but I ended up paying less than $200 for it somewhere else. And so I'm happy with it, and I'm going to wear it. And I'm so glad that I returned that fragrance from Neiman Marcus. And I'm so glad that actually they showed me who they were. And, you know, Karen number 1 and Karen number 2, I hope one day these 2 ladies will sit back and say, oh my gosh, And let me reflect on the way that I treated this lady when she came to my store. I don't think, you know, she should have been treated that way. And I hope they never have to go through what we went through. You know, they will never go through that because they are Caucasian and we are black. So, you know, consumerism, racial profiling is alive. It's out there. It has happened to a lot of people. And for those of you who have been through what I've been through, what my sister have been through, I sincerely apologize to you guys. This should never happen to people like you because of the color of your skin, because, you know, we are all human. We all breathe the same. We have the same amount of blood in our bodies. We have the same number of body parts, unless we had surgery to remove certain parts that, you know, we needed to remove. But, and we all wear our pants the same way, one leg at a time. We take the same amount of breath, and when it's time to die, we all die. We die. No one is going to live eternally. Regardless of how much money you have, regardless of how you look, you are still a human being, and you should treat people the way that you would want to be treated. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I understand, you know, it was a little bit of a long video, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you make good choices, and I hope, you know, you will treat people that you come in contact with as normal people, because regardless of what we look like, we are still human. We still have feelings. We still expect to be treated with dignity and with respect. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye now.